So today's coaching moment is going to be about the money wheel. We've all heard the saying, cash is king, especially as it's referred to in business. I'm here to tell you that businesses do not survive without cash, and it's either in an infusion, investment, or loan, or as a result of sales. The cash wheel I want to discuss here is how it relates to sales and the business cycle. Cash is derived from sales, which means you have either a product or a service people are willing to purchase. The sale is the end result. The process starts with production, the creation of the product or service. The creation process, in this case, could be a physical product, and it takes raw materials and labor that results in an inventory ready for market. If all you do is create inventory and you never sell it, your investment in this inventory is what you call stock, which now represents all your cash. The only problem is that stock is static until it's actually sold. At this stage, raw material, manpower, and cash are now all represented in the collection of stock. So what now? The first thing to realize is that if you're a service-based business, your stock is time. It's a depreciating asset and does not create a static inventory product. Inventory has a shelf life, and this means that the quicker you can market, the more valuable your inventory. The realization comes when you're a service-based business that your inventory is actually time, and time being a depreciation asset does not create a lasting product unless it's immediately used and sold. For service-based businesses, having orders for services that are ready to be fulfilled is necessary so no lost time happens. And time is something that's in short supply. Looking at time as a commodity you are selling can be a real shock for some businesses. The first action is to market in order to sell your goods and services. Connecting to your market niche and testing the demand for your product is an absolute key. Connecting with your market is an investment that cannot be skipped. Marketing is the process by which you are able to connect with potential clients to garner enough interest in your product that they want to purchase it. It is not until you get paid that you have completed the sales cycle. The importance of the sales cycle and the key component of marketing is to validate you have worked through your numbers. You have calculated your margins correctly. Is there enough room in your pricing to cover materials and labor plus overhead to leave you with at least a 30% net profit? And the net profit is derived between your net and your gross profit. The leftover 30% is paying your taxes as well as reinvesting into your business for the future. The first time I looked at this process, I was intimidated, to be sure. The golden nugget is that the marketing and the ability of the marketing guru you hire is to understand who you are in the marketplace, highlight your market dominating position within that market, and make sure your company is seen throughout that niche. Simple. If you connect with the problem you solve that connects with the problem your market has that they do not want, your company then becomes the superhero to save the day.
You're tuned into Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen brings energy, focus, and creativity with the most cutting-edge tools and systems needed to grow business, drive profits, and achieve dreams. Ready to rise? Here's your host, Doreen Milano.
Welcome. Today we're going to be talking to TJ Gutierrez with Semper Fi Marketing. He is a Marine Corps vet. And welcome, TJ.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Tell me more about what was the inspiration and how you started this company.
So it all started, I started marketing myself, doing a lot of gaming back in 2013, created a Twitch channel, and, I wasn't getting as many followers, so I was wondering, what are these guys doing properly that I'm doing wrong? So I reached out to a couple of creators, and they introduced me to Facebook marketing. And back then, Facebook marketing was kind of a thing, but it really wasn't. It was just still up and coming. So I learned the Facebook marketing course, became a Facebook developer for Facebook, not essentially working for Facebook, but I had to pass the courses for Facebook, right?
Understood.
Right. So once I did that, I started to make specific content to specific niches. And then first month, then I got...
Hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
You said a word that is so important that most business owners
I think I know
don't get.
Yep.
So will you say that again, please?
I made specific content for the creator, for my audience, to a specific niche that audience was looking for. Now, within the gaming community, there's many niches because each game has their own niche. You have RPG, you have first-person shooter, you have world fantasy, etc. So I created to the game that I was playing at that time, first-person shooters of those content to that niche. So once I started doing that, made my own Facebook page, and I started marketing myself on Facebook. And a lot of people think it's very expensive. It's actually very, very cheap. $10 a day is $300 a month, roughly, right?
Yeah.
And so within that $300 that I spent, that I saved up, my followers went from 10 to 12, 17 followers, almost up to 2,000 in a month, because I was advertising to those specific kind of people that wanted to see, fast spin around one headshot kills or sniper kills, etc. So I did that for a while, but I was still working in the oil field at the time. So when I was home for 2 weeks, that was my side job, and it was fun. I wouldn't call it a side job because when you love what you do, it's not a job.
That's right. We're having way too much.
I was having way too much fun for it. And then all the way to 2019 and then 2020, I hurt my back in the oil field and was paralyzed for a little while, and I couldn't do that no more. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and go back to full-time doing the Twitch stuff, right? So then my wife, she's like, well, you're not going to play video games full-time, as every wife should say. She was like, why don't you take this talent that you had for these many years and help businesses across here locally do that for themselves, and you could be doing something good.
There's always a woman behind a great man.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And so, I do give her credit for that, It's not that she was annoyed I was playing the video games. It's she actually saw how good I was at
She was the push.
At doing something to help create something. So she was like, even till today, I still play, video games, and she didn't take that away from me or whatever. She was just like, but you could be doing it like this, and you could be making more money. Okay, maybe I could. So I had to, again, take the updated Facebook developer course, made my LLC, made my brand, my name, my agency, and then I had to get verified on Facebook. And the verification, of course, is the little check mark to show that I could run business ads for small businesses. There's a lot of other people that said they can do it, and boost posts. Now, stay away from boost posts, please. That's just Facebook's.
It's not it.
That's not it. Facebook has an entire different side called the Business Manager, and that's where you create your campaign, who you're targeting to, traffic campaign. Are you making a video campaign? Are you making a message campaign? Website conversion? All these certain things. Once you have that, then you create your ad sets. And your ad sets, who you're targeting, what interest you're targeting. I want to get on this here in a minute between SEM and SEO, because that a lot
huge
of
difference.
Huge. I mean, it's black and white, apples, oranges, and business owners do not understand this.
So one of the things I want to clarify, because you're talking into some relatively broad terms.
Mm-hmm.
When you're targeting, you're specifically talking to the problem that specific market has that they do not want, and the promise of a solution that they don't have that they really, really need.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So if we're too broad in the targeting of the problem that we solve,
Mm-hmm.
and we're too broad in targeting the solution that we bring, we are not going to get the results that TJ is talking about.
Correct. And I have a term for that we all know, well, good marketers know, and that's called funnel marketing. So you're talking about a broad audience. And I tell everyone, imagine a tornado. Is the destruction zone up in the clouds, or is it down at the bottom? Down at the bottom. So I tell everyone, just making a Facebook business page, etc., it is not a rabbit race.
No.
It is a marathon. You are going to have to be that turtle back here all the way to the fit. If you want a rabbit race, social media marketing is not good for you. You can do that in media marketing, but it would have to be Google ads.
It's really expensive.
$5,000 a month minimum Google ads. Google ads won't even really look at you or look at your business unless you got $5,000 to spend this month, because they put, YouTube, just regular, anywhere that Google is at, but it's very expensive, very expensive.
So understanding that where the niche is, what the niche is about, is getting very clear on the problem that group of individuals within that niche has.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were doing Twitch, that niche had a very specific set of issues that they wanted to have solutions for.
Right. For Twitch, it wasn't really issues. It was more of content of what they're looking for. So
right.
Now they have TikTok. TikTok runs off of that type of algorithm. Is what type of content are you looking for? So it's not really problem solving. So that, Facebook, Instagram, those are more of you're talking about supply and demand, right? And the first thing I tell everybody that jumps on board is it's advertising is supply and demand. If me and you go to lunch right now, as we do every Wednesday.
We do.
Right? Now, are me and you going to go across the street to Twin Peaks and then go order a steak?
No.
Why?
Because that's not where we're going.
No. You're full. Your demand is already met.
Well, that's true, because we've already had lunch.
That's right. So
I'll go for a cocktail.
Everything. Right.
Right? But I won't go to eat.
That's right, because we ate lunch. So, but we wake up in the morning, we have a supply and demand to eat. Correct? So therefore, we're going to go, we have lunch. So I tell all my customers that, if you're expecting to drive down the highway and you see a McDonald's billboard, you just came to lunch, are you going to pull over? They said, well, of course not. I said, well, that's how advertising is worked. It's supply and demand. So you can advertise. You can yell at me all day. I'm not getting this. I said, well, because the demand for your supply is not there yet.
We've got to create it.
Got to create it.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a moment and we're going to talk to our advertisers.
Yes.
And we'll be right back, and we'll continue this discussion about supply and demand.
How long has it been since you've updated your brand or restocked your promotional items? The more often people see your company logos and taglines, the more often your company comes to mind. That top-of-mind thinking is exactly what grows businesses and generates revenues. So at Big Feet Creations, I've dedicated my time and talent for over 30 years designing and illustrating print and digital products that people love and remember. Now we're adding website design and audio-video editing too. Call Big Feet Creations at 469-450-7350. I'm a big guy, and I've taken big steps to help you grow big. Big Feet Creations, 469-450-7350. Call today. That's 469-450-7350.
What is the role of American government anyway? Is the role of government to decide where I can go and where I can't? Is the role of government to work tirelessly to destroy vital infrastructure that keeps goods and services from my customers? Is the role of government to choose who can drive, fly, or ride according to mandated stipulations that threaten my body, health, mind, and conscience? Without medical freedom legislation in place, our rights and freedoms are one vote away from being dissolved. Individually, change is improbable, but as an aggregate, attainable. It's time to act with one voice. My voice.
And my voice.
And my voice.
And my voice.
To protect our freedom, creating one voice that cannot be ignored. This requires your voice too. Your voice, your feet, your vote, not just at the ballot box, but training to be a poll watcher, precinct chair, judge, or early ballot counter, so you are doing all you can to protect the fairly counted American vote. Move Freely America. Go to movefreelyamerica.org to find a chapter near you. Plug in, donate, and help our legislators defend our God-given rights under the Constitution. Move Freely America, because my voice
And my voice.
together with your voice, we're one voice that cannot be ignored. Donate today. MoveFreelyAmerica.org.
So we're going to start talking again, and we're talking about the whole process of marketing and supply and demand. And people don't always understand that supply and demand applies to how you market.
It does, yes.
And we are going to be talking about SEO marketing
Correct.
versus
SEM.
SEM marketing.
Correct.
So those are new terms to a lot of folks out there.
Yeah.
So let's define those a little bit.
For sure. So the supply and demand, like you were saying, is this past year. I mean, look at the housing market. Everyone was in demand for houses, right?
Right.
So what do? They skyrocket. Now, once all those houses are sold within a year and a half, now there's going to be no demand for it. What is the housing market going to do? I already know myself because my house went from X amount of dollars. Within the past 6 months, it's literally dropped about $15K because the demand for the market is going down. So I just want a lot of advertisers to know that's how it works.
Understood.
Right? Okay. And so SEO and SEM. So a lot of businesses are always familiar with SEO because SEO is internet marketing. Now, when they say internet, everyone always thinks the entire internet.
No.
Google.com, that's your internet marketing. Bing.com, whatever you want to use, DuckDuckGo, like that's your internet marketing, right? So of course that's search engine optimization. How that works is specific keywords. So if let's say I'm looking for someone to power wash my driveway, I'm going to put in specific, power washer in Dallas, Texas area. Now, what is that going to do? It's going to create a whole broad of the entire Texas, maybe East Coast, West Coast, and it's going to show me the best power washing company everywhere, right? That's the internet.
Right.
Correct. So SEM is search engine marketing. This is where social media came in. And how that works is you're targeting specific interests and not keywords. So if you have SEO, your keyword is power wash, right? Main, that's it. That's all you're going to get. SEO companies, this week we changed up your word to this because last week it didn't work. Following week, we're going to change it to this because we don't know if this is going to work. So interest marketing is I can type in power wash in social media and it branches off to different things. Well, what type of power wash? It gives you driveway, construction, commercial, residential, and that's why the social media market is better to advertise than it would be internet marketing. But you could still do internet marketing.
I love that segue. Now, there are other pieces to marketing, right? We've got to understand what our content needs to be.
Content.
Which happens to be revolving around the niche, right?
Correct.
But we also have to understand that there's a production value.
Yes.
And that production value, the show is a production.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And there is value in that production. So how does your production side help small business?
So I got into producing about a year and a half ago, and how this came about was I saw this kid on TikTok, but when TikTok was barely getting up, he had these really cool, like fast type of transitional, what they call B-roll. So you're not like us, we're not B-roll, we're producing.
Right.
Right. B-roll is just stuff you're looking at, etc. But how he would do it was real genuine and it was fast and it was like switching, edits every 2-3, not even 2-3, like 1.52. So it was keeping you intrigued. And so,
wow.
And so, but the transitions were so smooth that you couldn't tell it was different videos. It would transition and it was like this 15-second video that was just so cool. So I was like, man, I wonder how he does that. So I started taking a cinema mastery course to learn everything first, because I know specifically as a business owner, you can't just jump into something like that and expect to go out the wazoo no matter how good you are. So I started learning about the production, learn about lights, learn about what type of cameras you're going to use, all this other stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Got my certificate to do produce and everything like that. So then I started going around to these little marketplaces in Dallas, on the streets. I was like, hey, can I just do quick film and, give me your social media and I'll give you the video whenever I'm done. And of course, they're, oh yeah, here you go. So when I started editing these videos, and it takes a while to do these little 15-second clips that you're seeing, I mean, it's rough 3.5, 4 hours, because you got to do keyframe by keyframe by keyframe. And I shared that once, and I don't know where it blew up at. I don't know if it was on my personal Facebook or my personal Instagram, but all of a sudden I had people like, well, can you film this? Can you film that? Okay, I've seen this work. I was like, sure. So I started to do all that. And most recently was 2 weeks ago, I filmed my first music video. Now I'm editing that. And yeah, that's an edit. So.
Okay, audience, I want you to listen to this. This is all about execution.
Correct.
And this is where many companies fail. With whatever strategy that they're doing, they're not executing because they're not getting the support of experts that understand how that process needs to be executed.
Correct. And what do we say? Leave the profession up to the professional all the time.
So understand that just because TJ is talking about this and you get this idea that you're going to go out and do this for your business, understand that how many hours have you spent perfecting this?
Man, yeah, 1.5 years, probably. The production side, 3,000-4,000 hours, somewhere around there, a lot doing it.
And so this is why we really purport that you hire the professionals to do that piece.
Correct.
Because you're not going to master it with the time that you have available and still run your business and make it profitable. Right?
Absolutely correct. And it was funny, my mom actually did this quote, or she didn't do a quote, but she made it funny looking because I got kind of down and about. And she told me, she pulled out this stapler, right? And then she goes, if I cut you open, she goes, can you staple that yourself? And I said, well, yeah, I could. She goes, would it look good afterwards? I said, probably not. She goes, so where are you going to go? So to the doctor. She goes, leave the profession up to the professional. So I was like, oh. Like, don't cut me open, though. But it was
a little drastic, Mom. But
yeah. It was a good analogy. It was a good analogy of learning to do it, because learning to do something like that, especially producing and doing these TikTok fast transitional videos that are so catchy now. It's just a lot of training. Lots and lots of training. So yeah, I highly recommend everyone just call the professionals when you need it. Don't try to do it yourself, and then you make your business look bad. Yeah.
And the point of this show is about having your business flourish and look really good.
Yes.
So we really invite you to speak to professionals like TJ or OBVM Network, because this is a big deal. Having you look good is what we're all about. So when we talk about marketing, what is your golden nugget for the audience out there?
Ooh, I would say mostly you need a niche. You have to figure out the niche for your business. And like I said,
there's that word again.
Yeah. And I go back to the Twitch thing, because that a lot of people can understand different types of what it is. Like I said, you have role-playing games, which is like Final Fantasy. Then you have your first-person shooter military games. That's just shooting games. Then you have indie games, which are, 8-bit, 16-bit, 13-bit games. So it's all one gaming community, right? But I'm only doing first-person shooters. So if I'm niching to the RPG guys, I'm not going to get any followers, quote, no ROI. If I'm niching to the indie guys, they're not going to, they're like, why am I seeing this? I don't even play any of these games. But then I niche to where I need to go. That's whenever you start seeing your ROI. And I tell businesses this, like a construction business, home business, you have your real estate, you have landowners, you have investors, development groups, etc. Well, you got to find one of those niches.
How do people find you?
Mostly I'm on my social media because that's my
Your thing?
my thing. On Facebook, it's Semper Fi Marketing LLC, and on Instagram, it's Semper Fi Marketing Productions.
And a phone number?
817-894-1615.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you learned something today. That was our goal. Hey, Doreen Milano here. You already know the squeeze family businesses have in acquiring new talent. You could also be feeling that very same squeeze when it comes to growing your business and gaining new clients. What if I told you there was a way to become the employee of choice in your field? How would you like more cash flow, more clients who love you, and employees who feel great working with you and your clients? I've helped hundreds of family-owned businesses, just like yours, who are now reaping the benefits of plentiful cash flow, increased revenue in the millions, employees who love where they work, and loyal clients. I've spent over 30 years developing the tool chest and working in the corporate space, helping companies of all sizes attain maximum profitability. You are not wrong or at fault. The struggle in family business is very real. Your business needs more cash flow, more profits, more leads, and happy employees. Spending the last 12 years working with family businesses, I've been upgrading and proving that these strategies actually work. The system is based on several key strategic components around people, strategies, process, and profits. I'm sharing my strategies with the owners of family businesses who want an edge in today's challenging market without having to reinvent the wheel. If you want to know more, go to v2e.biz or give me a call at 650-483-5798.
This has been Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen Milano solves problems for small and mid-market family-owned businesses and service-based industries. To work with Doreen, go to v2e.biz. For guest and sponsorship information, call 650-483-5798. Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano is produced by Offbeat Business Media for the OBBM Network. For OBBM Network programming information, call 214-714-0495. Unauthorized use of any part of Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano without prior permission through the OBBM network is strictly prohibited.